Thank you, everyone, for joining the Power 3 podcast. This is your host, Sean Bishop, and I'm coming to you this evening or this morning, if you would like to say, and I'm giving you my NFL predictions for week 3 of the NFL. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get it started, and let's get crunk this Sunday morning, because it's 12 a.m. here in Central Texas. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into these predictions real quick. Last week, as you know, I went 12-4. Your boy did his thing. Went 12-4. Started off 0-1. Went 12-4. I'm overall now 21-11 overall with 2 weeks in the books. So with that being said, I did pretty good last week. I can say that for week two in the NFL. So hopefully, I'm already starting week 3 out the same way I started week 2. So hopefully, me starting out 0-1 in week 2 and starting out 0-1 in week 3, maybe I'll get the same outcome with my predictions as I did in week 2. But with that being said, here we go. Okay, first we have these Arizona Cardinals visiting the Buffalo Bills, and that game is at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Central Time on Fox. In this game, the Bills have beat the Cardinals 19-16 in overtime. When these teams last met in 2012. So with this, the Bills, they got my boy Shady McCoy, of course, and then the Cardinals, they got Larry Fitzgerald. So it's some matchups here and there. What the big main concern, I think, is the fact or not is if the wide receiver for the Bills is back from is he still nursing that foot injury? Why I can't call his name right now, but that's one of the things in which we really have to see if he's doing anything in regards to that injury he had on that foot. Carson Palmer, still out there in Arizona trying to make things happen for the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona is 1-1, where the Bills is winless as of now. They 0-2, so I'm giving the Bills their first win against Arizona. It's far-fetched. It would be considered an upset, but I'm gonna take that upset and go with the Bills, with the score being 28-21, Bills over the Cardinals. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings going up against the Carolina Panthers, and that game is at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time on Fox as well. And this game, of course, we know, being that the Vikings have lost Adrian Peterson to a knee injury, so he will not be playing in this game. So that really pretty much sums it up for the Minnesota Vikings, because there's not another back out there like Adrian Peterson. He's a freak of nature. If you don't know, I'm sure everybody does know that watch football. But hopefully, praying for Adrian Peterson that he has a speedy recovery and hits the gridiron real soon. And so with that being said, I'm gonna go with the Carolina Panthers and Cam Newton. You just gotta go with them right now, because right now the Vikings look one-dimensional without having a running game, without Adrian Peterson, ADP. They do have Cordell Patterson and stuff like that. Sam Bradford, he did well in that game. His first game as a Viking. So I just don't know if they can do enough. And then the Carolina defense is nice, is real nice. The Vikings are undefeated as of right now, and the Carolina Panthers, of course, are 1-1. They lost the home opener, or the season opener, against the Denver Broncos, of course. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Panthers over the Vikings, because I don't think the Vikings can do anything without Adrian Peterson on the field. So with that being said, the score in this game will be the Panthers 35, the Vikings 17. Next, we have the Denver Broncos going to play the Cincinnati Bengals. And this game is at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time on CBS. Of course, Denver Broncos, the Bengals and the Broncos both won their divisions last season. So the Bengals have a real decent team, but the Broncos defense with Von Miller and I don't even know if DeMarcus Ware is playing in this game, because of course the last game he played in, he hurt his forearm, he broke his forearm. So I haven't heard yet whether or not DeMarcus Ware is even playing in that game at all. So we would definitely just have to see if he's playing in this game. Denver, of course, is 2-0. The Bengals are 1-1. Broncos are averaging 27.5 points a game, where the Bengals are only averaging 19.5 points a game. So I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos. They're going to go 3-0 after the Sunday and beating the Broncos. I'm looking at the Broncos putting up 30 points. So 32-14. Broncos over the Bengals. Next, we have the Detroit Lions facing the Green Bay Packers. That game is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Central Time on Fox as well. The Packers are 1-1, as well as the Lions. They are 1-1. Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure, is trying to bounce back off of a loss that they had a week or so ago. The Detroit still trying to find their way with Matthew Stafford. This should be a real good game, though. I really feel like this will be one of the best games probably this weekend. So with that being said, though, I still feel like the Packers gonna win in Green Bay. They playing at Lambeau, so I'm looking at the Packers to win this game. So the Packers will go 2-1, where the Lions will go 1-2. So I'm picking the Packers to win this game, 35-21. Packers over the Lions. Next, we have the game, the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. This game is at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Central Time on CBS. The Baltimore Ravens are 2-0 with Joe Flacco, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are winless. They're 0-2. And I just don't see the Jacksonville Jaguars getting their first win versus the Baltimore Ravens. But I could be wrong. But Joe Flacco and them out there in Baltimore are doing things that are pretty good out there in Baltimore. And then we all know the Ravens pulled off a 20-point comeback versus the Browns last week to win last week in that game. So both of these teams are pretty much evenly matched. They're both averaging a 1-point difference in points per game. But the Jacksonville Jaguars are allowing their opponents 32 points a game. So with that being said, like I said, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm looking at the Baltimore Ravens beating the Jacksonville Jaguars 28-10. Moving on, we have the Cleveland Browns going to visit the Miami Dolphins. That game is at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Central Time on CBS. The Dolphins are 0-2, as well as the Cleveland Browns are 0-2. So somebody will come out with a win in this weekend's game. Finally, the Dolphins are hosting the Browns in this opener after starting 0-2 on the road. So hopefully the Dolphins may get this win. Of course, we haven't heard anything on RG3 on whether or not he's going to be playing. I don't really see him playing in this game or not, whatnot. But just by looking at this game could go either way. This is one of those games that's you don't really even know, because they're evenly matched as well in regards to points per game and things of that nature. With this game, I really don't know. I'm gonna go ahead, because the Dolphins are playing at home. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Miami Dolphins in this game. The score of this game is gonna be 28-17. 28-17 Miami. Next, we have an NFC East matchup. The Washington Redskins visit the New York Giants, and that game is at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Central Time on Fox. We know this game here is the game that a lot of people are looking at because of two individual people because of their play, or I won't even say because of their play, because of the antics in which they had last year in their the last time they matched up against one another. They have implemented a new rule in the NFL. Like if you get 2 personal fouls, unsportsmanlike personal fouls, you're ejected from the game. And those 2 gentlemen are Josh Norman and Odell Beckham. So, with that being said, these 2 match up this weekend. It should be a great game. The Redskins, unfortunately, are 0-2, while the Giants are 2-0. So this should be a barn burner. We should definitely see a good game with this one. The Giants are trying to start off their season 3-0 since 2009. With that being said, yeah, Eli Manning, Kirk Cousins just had a horrible game last week. They had a chance. The Redskins should be 1-1. Kirk Cousins threw a crucial interception in last week's game toward the end of the game that pretty much sealed the loss for them. So I'm gonna have to take the Giants. I'm gonna have to take the Giants over the Redskins. I feel like Eli and Odell Beckham, I just feel like they just too much for the Redskins. So with that being said, I look at the Giants defeating the Washington Redskins 24-14. Next we have the Oakland Raiders visiting the Tennessee Titans. That game is at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central on CBS. We got Marcus Mariota out there doing his things. The bad thing about this, the Raiders defense have allowed 500 plus yards in each game this season so far. That's not good whatsoever. 309. They're allowing 309 passing yards to the Titans 238 yards of passing. So with this, Tennessee, they're playing in Tennessee. So I'm going to have to pick. The Raiders are 1-1, so are the Titans. So I'm gonna go with the Titans. Because the Titans, they're playing at home. I'm gonna go with the Titans, and I'm looking at a score of 34-31. Titans over the Raiders. 34-31. Titans over the Raiders. Moving on, we have the San Francisco 49ers going down to Seattle to play the Seahawks. This game is at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:05 Central Time on Fox. It's one of the midway games, and this should be a good game as well. Both teams are 1-1. You know, you have Colin Kaepernick. He's still not starting, as far as I know. And then you have Russell Wilson playing, and hoping that, last week he had a slight ankle injury, but it's not stopping him from playing tomorrow night against the 49ers. This one should be a very good game as well. This game could go either way for either one of these teams. The Seahawks last week, they only put up 9 points, or was it 6 points? They lost last week, and that's just horrible that I couldn't believe they lost the game that they lost last week. So I'm sure they're gonna have redemption this week. So I'm gonna choose the Seattle Seahawks to beat the San Francisco 49ers. I look at this game being the score of the Seattle Seahawks 21, the San Francisco 49ers 17. Moving on, we have the LA Rams, the Los Angeles Rams visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That game is at 4:05 Eastern Time, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:05 p.m. Central Time. The Buccaneers are 1-1, and the LA Rams are 1-1 as well. The LA Rams are 1-1 despite only scoring 9 points over the first 2 games. 9 points, and they're 1-1. Is that amazing? So it tells you they can't put points on the board. So with that being said, that automatically makes me go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Jameis Winston, who's out there playing QB behind the center in Tampa Bay. So I'm gonna take the Buccaneers over the Rams. 21-10. The Buccaneers over the Rams 21-10. Next we have the San Diego Chargers versus the Indianapolis Colts. That game is at 4:25 Eastern Time, 3:25 Central Time on CBS. The Colts are 0-2 with Andrew Luck. The Chargers with Phillip Rivers is 1-1. Chargers beat the Colts 19-9 when these teams last faced each other in 2013, which was 3 years ago. So with that being said, these both teams are have high-powered offenses. They can put points on the board. So it will definitely be, I feel like it'll be a high-scoring game. But I'm going to give the edge. I'm going to give the edge to the Colts. I believe the Colts are going to get that win in Indianapolis to give them their first win, and I look at them winning this game by 30-27 over the San Diego Chargers. Next, we have the New York Jets versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Both of these teams are 1-1. This game is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:25 p.m. Central Time on CBS. The midway game, another one of the midway games. This game, the Jets are still trying to find themselves. I feel like they Revis. They've exploited Revis out there in New York. I don't just think they'll be able to do anything against Kansas City's offense. The Jets running back, of course, Matt Forte, rushed for 100 yards and three TDs the last time they played and got that win. But I just don't know. Andy Reid out there in Kansas City, he's a great coach. I hate when we lost him as a Philadelphia Eagles coach. But I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs. They're playing in Arrowhead, so you just pretty much got to go with the Chiefs. So with that being said, I'm looking at the Chiefs to beat the Jets 30-24 Chiefs over the Jets. Then we have the game. Yes, I call this the game. We have at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time and 3:25 Central Time on CBS. We have the matchup I feel is of all matchups. We have the 2-0 teams, the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and with the rookie quarterback Carson Wentz, who's been able to keep a pace, who's been keeping pace and been able to not throw an interception so far this season in 2 games, and he's probably the most I don't know what you may want to call it. He's probably the most improved rookie quarterback in the league right now. Right next to him would be Dak Prescott, of course. But this game right here between the Steelers and the Eagles is definitely going to be one of the best games tomorrow, without a shadow of a doubt. Both teams are averaging almost 30 points a game. And the opponents is averaging less than 20 points a game. So this should be definitely a great game. I'm looking for Carson Wentz to continue doing what he's been doing. But, of course, you can't take nothing away from Big Ben Roethlisberger. And then you got AB, Antonio Brown on the wide receiver end for them. The big thing for this game is Philadelphia's wide receivers have to catch the ball. The last game, the one they did win on Thursday, that was cool, or not Thursday, Monday night against the Bears. They won it, but it was a lot of drop passes, and you cannot drop passes against the Pittsburgh Steelers and expect to win. You just cannot do that. So with that being said, and then we have to stop the run. We definitely have to stop D'Angelo Williams, stuff like that. But we have to get Ryan Matthews to get the ball rolling, get him running downhill so he can get in the end zone as well. And we definitely got to work Darren Sproles, maybe throw some screens over there to him and help him get some points on the board as well. But, of course, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes, I have my Randall Cunningham throwback 75th anniversary jersey on, because that's what Philadelphia Eagle fans do. So I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said, we are playing at Lincoln Financial Field, so we will get this win at home. I'm looking at this game to be close because it is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So with that being said, I'm looking at this game to be a score of 30 24 with the Philadelphia Eagles winning. Okay, moving on. Let's get to the next. The late game for Sunday night will be who the Philadelphia Eagles beat on Monday night. The Chicago Bears, who are 0-2, versus the 1-1 Dallas Cowboys, which has Dak Prescott, the other rookie quarterback who's doing real well, who hasn't thrown an interception yet this season as well. That game is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and this should be a decent game. But the thing about this game, the Chicago Bears will be without Jay Cutler in this game, so you automatically got to say the Dallas Cowboys are going to take this win easily, and they're playing at AT&T Stadium, so it's just, that's pretty much hands down. Without Jay Cutler, they really don't have a chance to beat the Dallas Cowboys, even though they, not Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffries and stuff like that is out there in Chicago. I just don't know if the backup quarterback can do what he needs to do to pull a win over the Cowboys. And then you have, Dak Prescott, and of course you got, Dez Bryant doing their thing out there. So it's crazy. It's just, I don't know. You just don't know, but I feel like the Dallas Cowboys, even though I hate to say this, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys will get the win over the Chicago Bears. That score will be 24-14. 24-14, the Dallas Cowboys over the Chicago Bears. And then we have Monday night's game. But you thought you was going to get me. I'm not going to tell you who I'm going for Monday night until Monday. Right before the game, I'll do a pregame for Monday night's game between the Falcons and the Saints. But we all know what happened on the Thursday game with the Patriots defeating and blowing out the Houston Texans 27-0, which made me or put me at 0-1 going into week 3. So with that being said, I thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in to my podcast. This is your boy Sean Bishop, one of the 3 of the Power 3 podcast. My 2 hosts are still trying to get their equipment together, and they should be on board here real soon. Again, I thank each and every one of y'all for watching our podcast. I really, really, really appreciate it. I will have a recap of the games after they play on Sunday. It will be probably right after the Sunday late game, the Dallas and Chicago Bears game. I'll probably have the recap right after that. So stay tuned for that when that happens. So with that being said, I thank each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a great evening. I appreciate y'all for watching the show. And this is your boy, Sean Bishop from the Power 3 podcast. I'm out. Peace.